perception, because like the goal of this conversation should be to like progress, right? Do like unless you're ladies that you don't want to fucking deal with men at all, then we should talk
Yeah, we
about
don't
that.
want to deal
But
with
if
black men at all.
I
okay,
love
Really
all
don't know
well
what
men
then
I
and
say.
not black men, just not
okay.
black men.
Well, is there any women here who don't want to deal with men, period, or is it just black men, or is it a mixture?
It's just black men, and we actually want non-black men's help in this corrections that you speak of.
So what are the corrections that you're looking for specifically?
Force, force, because that's the only thing that's gonna work.
But I mean, what are you looking for black men to arrive at? A place of understanding of like what do you want to see
Well,
to
me
We
change?
believe that
personally,
there is no hope for them. That we don't believe in changing their minds. We don't. But I'm trying not to say what I really want to say because you're on stage. But if they could not exist, hey, we wouldn't be mad at.
I think for me, I think I want the coddling culture to kind of stop. I think they get validated a little bit too much and they're not held accountable as much as white men, Hispanic men, Asian men. Like the legal system works in their benefit a little bit more than they think it does. They're seen as the ultimate, like most oppressed. And I think that that coddling culture needs to stop and they need to be held accountable for their actions.
Because we
Yeah.
live in white male patriarchy, white men set what's socially acceptable. So, with you all setting what's socially acceptable, the degenerate behavior of black male culture needs to be checked, and there needs to be more because we're no longer looking for accountability from them because they've proven that they will not take accountability. We need the men who set the culture to make them take accountability by exacting some sort of consequence for perpetrating behaviors that are not socially acceptable because you all create the socially acceptable.
So we're dealing with people who are left unchecked. These are people. I want to basically state that more than likely these women are swirlers, divestors. These are women that more than likely never liked black men to begin with, or were just waiting for a reason just to say that, oh, this is why I, date whatever preference that they tend to have. For the most part, that they went directly on an open forum and they were seeking the approval and the help of white men in order to, as they wanted to say, get black men under control is again, something that I've showcased on this platform before where again, this is not a rare event. This is something that has consistently happened, whether knowingly, right, or unknowingly, right, meaning that you got it sometimes it's out there in the forefront where everybody can see it, and then other times it's hidden somewhere in the back room, and then somebody who's watching just ended up recording it and upload it and put it directly out there for any and everybody to see. What I want to basically state is that this is abhorrent. This is very disgusting to know the fact that you have women that have melanin in their skin deciding that this is how they want to portray black men. They're running to another group of men basically in this type of quote unquote fear, in this type of way where, oh, we're so meek and we're so passive, we're so vulnerable, and we need, you men to, of a different community to come through and really protect us black women because we can't, do it ourselves, and you guys are the ones that make the laws and make the rules and this, that, and the third. So it'd be great if you guys, whatever you need to do, just sit up there and do it so that we can sit up there and be safe. And you heard what one of them decided to say. She was like, well, I don't really want to say it because you guys are live, but if they can, pretty much no longer be here, I'm pretty sure that no black woman here, would have an issue or a problem with that. You do realize that without one half, the other half is going to pretty much cease to exist. I'm not understanding. I don't know how they don't understand how genetics work. You can be a black woman if you want to. But the moment in time that you proceed to have or procreate, and then that child that you have, which is going to end up being 50-50, is going to be biracial, the chances are very great that they're going to be with somebody else that is other, or better yet, that is white. So that 50-50 is now going to go up even higher when it deals with that child that is going to come directly out. So within about a few generations, there's You're not going to be able to say that the child is black. But yet they're making it seem as though that they're going to be able to just solely reproduce themselves. Like, hey, this black woman is going to sit up there and have, kids with a white man, and then produce a daughter that is half and half. And then that daughter is going to further go down the line to get married to a white male. And then they're going to sit up there and produce a daughter. No, it's going to be over for you. It's going to be complete curtains. Wasn't that the whole thing with was it Diana Ross or somebody? I forgot. It was some female celebrity. I think I remember going over a family photo, and I was like, "What just happened here?" I'm like, "This is the family." I'm like, "Where the black folks at?" I'm like, "This is wild to me." But like I said, people they make it seem like they know every single thing, and again, it is very disturbing to hear women that are quote unquote of the black community deciding to state these types of things directly online. I don't know where these women are, located, who their family specifically is, what their circumstances are surrounding their thought processes and how it is that they were raised. But good Lord, this is not good for anybody. And these would be the same types of women. And again, I've covered videos like this before where women like this will talk about honestly on other platforms amongst other divestors on how it is they've, tried to talk quote unquote, as they call it, sense into their, younger female family relatives to keep them away from young black boys. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, you making it seem like it's like, good Lord, like I said before, there's no black men are the most hated. I don't care what nobody else has to sit up there and state. I do not care what nobody else has to state. By far, black men are the most hated men directly out here, bar none. Nobody else even comes close. Because just this by itself proves that point. I would never in my life, and again, I don't condone any madness from either men or women. I've called out men who have done the exact same things and gone online and said something crazy on their own platforms. You got men that will sit up there and, say some crazy stuff on their platforms, but they're not going to women of other races talking about, oh yeah, we need y'all to do something about these, these black women out here, and we need y'all to handle this for us, and all this other type of rah 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 and da 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 and all this other, if whatever you got to do to the furthest extent, so it be what it got to be, right? No, that's not what's happening. But I have umpteen videos of stuff like this happening, and it doesn't make any type of sense. Just like the other videos that I've showcased to you guys before, where you got black women who are directly on these social medias talking about it is very attractive and they find it very masculine of white men to be, quote unquote, manhandling black guys. So again, and this is why I said before, like a lot of these women don't understand that the women who are stating these things, they mean that if the men that you love in your family are getting manhandled by these dudes out here, this is what turns them on. If your innocent son, he could be 6 or 8 years old, didn't do nothing, gets manhandled by the cops, that is attractive for them. They want to see the defeat. They want to see the loss of life. Everything that is negative, that basically equals out to a black man no longer existing, as long as they can see that on video, that is attractive to them. That is provocative to them. That turns them directly on. And then people turn around online and want to come to a lot of black men out here and say that we are the problem. And I'm like, that's crazy to me. I'm like, do y'all not hear what these other women out here are sitting up there saying about people's like sons, young sons, about the young men of people's families, young black men directly out here, and just the older black men. Like it's some crazy stuff out here. Like I said, like, and for people to basically condone stuff like this, like, yo, all of y'all are some weirdos. Something is wrong with y'all. Y'all no longer need to be on this planet. Go live on a whole different. Go live on Mars. Go live on Jupiter. To just to be real, go live on Mars. Go live on Jupiter. Better yet, go live on Uranus. Because I think that the winds fly sideways, and they got like diamond storms. Go live out there. You do not need to be on this planet. Like, that is crazy to me, dog. Like, take that whole mentality somewhere else in the universe, man. Let somebody else sit up there and deal with all that madness and that nonsense. No sane person needs to be dealing with that. Like I said, and people like this don't even need to be raising kids. Like, please don't ever have any type of kids. Like, just do whatever you need to do in order not to have kids. Like, please don't, because we don't need that type of mentality, that type of ignorance, to be proliferating out here. We don't. And like I said, these women out here be like 30s, 40s, and 50s, and even in an extent 60s, and they're talking like this online. That and this is why I sat up there and said before, the main people that talk about others need therapy are the main ones that need therapy themselves. These would be the same women that say that black men suffer from not going to therapy or not talking to somebody. All of these women that always say this, they're the same ones that need their therapy even more. Because these type of same women that you heard talking, they'll be raising sons. How do you think their son's going to end up? And you wonder why you got certain sons out here that don't like black women. That's because they got mothers like this. That's because they got sisters and they got aunts like this. They got grandmothers like this. How do you expect a young black boy growing up amongst women like that to sit up there and love the women of his community? Explain that to me. He's supposed to look past that. He's supposed to say, oh, well, they're just individuals. They're not indicative of all black men. Those are the women that, in a sense, he first comes in contact with. Those are the first women that he understands what love actually is, how to value, how to respect somebody, what dignity actually is. But just imagine being a young black boy growing up around that, hearing women sitting up there saying how much they loathe and hate black men. And how they don't want them to exist. And you expect a young black boy to grow up into a black man and to have a healthy, conscious, logical relationship with a black woman directly out here, not going back into that type of hurt, that type of pain that he had to grow up in here every single day, even though he had nothing to do with nothing, but yet they're still speaking on, basically him not being here. Some crazy work, man. That's 100% some crazy work. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.